Hey, hi, Lisa Marie here. Happy Monday. Woo woo. Okay, I'm not at the office, but I do still have some communication time with my coworkers. So something happened today that I thought, maybe we all could benefit by this. And I want to ask you, who are you inviting into your home right now? I know you're not inviting anyone because we're social distancing and we're not having real people over in our house. Most of us, right? But you are inviting something into your personal space. Like TV shows. What type of TV shows are you watching? Are they things that are bringing you to a calmness and encouraging you and helping you through this time? Or are they bringing you down and making you depressed or making you feel really anxious and have heightened anxiety? You know, is it statistically and scientifically, it is proven that if you start your day with something negative, by the end of the day, hey girls, by the end of the day, you are going to view that whole day as something negative or down or depressing. What? Yes. And also, I'm pretty sure you probably know this, it takes one negative thing to cancel out 10 positive things. What? Yes. Wait. It takes one negative thing. It takes whatever. It takes 10 positive things to cancel out one negative thing, which is super stinking hard to do if all you're bombarding yourself with is negative things or anxiety-ridden things like the news or TV shows and movies and things like that. So it depends on the music you listen to or even sounds that you have going in your day. In the morning, you don't have to turn on the news. You don't have to turn on music that does this. You could turn on a wave machine. You could turn on praise music. You could turn on someone playing the piano. If you like this type of music, then that's okay too. But you don't want it to be angry, negative, harmful, hurtful lyrics. You need it to be encouraging and uplifting. The other thing you can do is your smell. Have candles burning right now. Have essential oils burning right now. Right, coping with the COVID-19 and the isolation from that, there are things that we can do. So I really want to ask you to think about who's influencing your choices that you're making. If it's the TV, guess what? The TV equals commercials. What do commercials equal? Usually food or shopping. And what does that equal? Eating and an empty wallet. I don't want that. Next thing, social media. For a lot of us, it equals the FOMO, fear of missing out, which then equals eating, emotional eating. How about movies? I'm not going to watch the news. I'm not going to watch TV. I'm not going to look on social media. I'm going to isolation and the stress of the loss of your husband 3 weeks ago. Oh my gosh, Janice, you are really in a hard moment right now. You really, really, really need to step back, and we are definitely going to be praying for you, but step back and look at who you're allowing into your home, who you're allowing to come in and influence you, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, your foods, all these different things. You need to take care of yourself at this time, but you also need to know that grieving is okay, and loss stinks, like big time. And I remember when my first husband passed away, how odd it was that my world stopped. The clock, time watches, time stopped. Time stood still. But for everybody else in the world, it seemed like their clock was still going and still moving. And it started to come back. It took a little bit because I had to take care of stuff and do things. I am praying for you because I cannot imagine being isolated right now physically and going through that. My heart is with you. So with our TV, with the social media, with movies that we watch, which movies, I mean, you think, oh, that's a great thing because you're eliminating all of these other things. But depending on what movies you watch, they could entice your boredom and laziness, which then equals to mindless eating, right? So, what's happened with all of that? You've just invited Mr. and Mrs. Old Habits to come back into your home. And those old habits and old patterns are mind games. They're things that allow the bully to come back. And I don't want that. I don't want that for you, and I don't want that for me. So now what? What? We need to plan like we're getting ready to go on the battlefield. And the battlefield is being stuck in our homes without the physical contact of people. You can still have contact with people. You can still reach out to people. You just won't get that physical touching need at the moment. But it's coming back. And there's some people, I mean, if they've been in isolation and you've been in isolation and everybody's, temperature is good, you're testing fine, and you really, really, really need a hug, let someone come over with a mask and gloves and give you a hug. And then scrub your hands and wash up and throw your clothes in the laundry. There's ways around it. There's definitely ways around it. So, some of the tools, what are some of the tools? Tools that we need. We need tools. We can't just do this on our own. We need tools. And for me, the tools are a plan. Having a plan. Not just of my meals and what I'm going to eat, but when. What my day is going to look like. How much time am I going to give myself permission to be lazy and do nothing? How many parts of my day am I going to give myself some downtime and resting from stuff? How about times when I'm going to be active and physical? Food, cooking, laundry, chores, all of this stuff. We can plan out our day. Maybe you're not a planner before. Maybe you're not a thing into checklists. Try it. Get yourself back on track. And being on track starts with a plan. I hate to tell you this. Not really, because a little bit of truth coming at you. Guess what? Summer is coming. Whether we're locked inside or not, summer is coming. Guess what else is coming? An end to this. Granted, it might be another 30 days or 60 days, and stretching out by different people being affected and all that stuff could go another 4 months. But it is coming to an end. We are going to be able to go outside. We are going to go back to our regularly scheduled program of our routine and things. Hopefully this time, I'm praying a lot of us will have new routines that are more healthy and understanding how important it is to have this closed-in time and downtime of all of the busyness that we're normally doing. So my plan, my tools, I don't have it with me, but is tracking. And maybe it's just saying, I had a smoothie for breakfast, I had protein tea, I had a yogurt, I had these different things. You just need to write them down, just to get them out of your head and write them down. Or use an app on your phone, MyFitnessPal, Berrytastic, just drew a blank on the other ones. There's a ton of them out there. We need to track what we're doing because we don't know what we don't know until we know it, right? And wrong button, and an alarm. Set an alarm. Set an alarm for these different times of the day for you to do the different things you need to do. You can do it on your phone, super easy, and actually label it, okay, get up, get moving, empty a cupboard, cook a meal, eat, go for a walk, do some jumping jacks, jump rope, whatever. You can set alarms in your phone to do that. And you need to give yourself some grace for that. We also need to track our activity because we really aren't being honest with ourselves of the food calories in and the active taking the calories out and how we really are with that. At least I'm not. I haven't been. I am now, but I wasn't. I don't know. I was like on vacation again. I don't know. It's crazy. You could do like I do. One of my other tools is I have, well, these are for my containers and stuff I have, but in the cupboard I have a drawer similar to that is my foods, my snacks that I can just grab and go and know that that's a portion for me. In the fridge, I have the top vegetable drawer, meat drawer, I don't know, whatever it is. I have the top drawer and it has like all of my different foods that I have and different portions that are for me, that I eat. That when it's mealtime, that's what I do. I can just grab that and go. And now I'm tracking those and logging them. I wasn't. I was just portioning things out, and some days I realized I had 6 meals again instead of my normal 3 or 4. So you don't know this until you start tracking. The other thing is I really want to encourage you is to not focus on the negative and what we aren't allowed to do and can't do, and instead start making a can do or a get to list of things that you can do right now. I mean, really, in our whole busy world life prior to this, a month ago, what were we complaining about, right? We were complaining that we don't have enough time for ABC. We don't get to 1, 2, 3, right? I was doing that. I totally was doing that. Now we can get out a list, kind of like you do the pros and cons, but we need to get out a piece of paper and write down a list of things that we can do, that we get to do right now. We get to catch up on reading or listening to audiobooks. We get to declutter or organize or toss out stuff. We get to catch up with family and friends and maybe old coworkers or just people that the Lord pops into your head. When you ask, gosh, who should I pray for today? He will pop a few people in your head. Who should I reach out to today? He will pop some people in your head. And you'll be like, I haven't talked to them in like 10 years. Reach out to them. Let them know, hey, you asked who you could pray for today, and they popped into your head, so you're just reaching out to say, hey, I'm praying for you. I like hearing that. I'm sure they would too. The thing is social media can be used for good, and set a timer so that you're limited and you have that kind of worked in, and then don't get sucked into it. Put your phone away, turn it off, put it on Do Not Disturb, whatever you need to do to give yourself that calm break away from it. Okay? So what is some other things that we were just, Todd and I were talking about is we get to play games that we haven't played in a while. We've even like made up a few games. And something that you can, I'm sure we all can do this right now. You can go online, you can YouTube, you can do that. You can learn something new, or you can bring back a skill that you used to do. Like I used to crochet, but I just learned how to make a basket with an actual bottom and the sides that stand up. What? Yeah. Now I'm working on making cozies for my cups that I normally take to work with my smoothie. When I go back to work, I need that because I lost my big one. I only have one, and I want a couple of spares just in case. There's so many things that we can learn or relearn during this time. And I'm telling you, it's going to get busy again. Our lives are going to get crazy. Our calendar's going to blow up. And what are we going to say? What are we going to look back at this time in history? Not the world's history, your history. my history. What are we going to look back and say? How did we spend our time during that time in our personal history? How do you want to spend that time? Who do you want to reach out to? What things do you want to accomplish? I'm telling you, we really don't have much time left. And if you're like me and you've got old diet fat brain going on, I remember, how many times you knew something was 6 months away and you'd be like, I've got 6 months. Pretty soon you've only got 3 months until that big event happens. I've got 3 months. Okay, I'll start eating well tomorrow. I'll start tracking tomorrow. I'll start working out tomorrow. And pretty soon tomorrow turns into another 30 days and now you only have 2 months left to get your act together. And old fat brain was like, what's the point? What's the point? Well, I'm telling you, there is a point right now. There is a reason for all of this right now. And it is all going to go back to normal. We are going to get busy again. We are going to forget this time and how hard it's been, especially if we can focus on the positive and encourage ourselves and others with things that we get to do and that we can do, and how we'll look back 6 months from now, a year from now, when the grandkids get older, when something happens and someone asks you, so where were you in 2020 when the COVID hit? What did you do? How do you want to answer that? Not in something world-changing, although that's pretty amazing and awesome, but for you and your heart. If you stop a minute and pray about it and just be still and listen, God will direct you. He'll give you something that you can handle, not something so ginormous that it's impossible. It's something that we can actually do. So, I've gone on and on and on, but it was from a conversation that I had with someone when they were talking about how anxious they were. And it's because the very first thing they do in the morning, I can't even show you because my phone's there, they pick up their phone and they look at the alerts. They have some alerts set to tell them all the crazy updates of things. And then they start to panic. Then they go into the other room and they turn on their TV, where they turn on the news. What's on the news? More of this. Now they're twice as anxious and twice as worried and twice as paralyzed because they've put that in. Even though they're at work, now they're at home, they've got stuff playing in the background and they hear stuff. Their energy is now moved on to their kids. Their kids have this anxious energy as well. And now the whole house is like this, and it's all stress and tense. And they're like, what am I going to do? And now they have to focus and they have to work while all this stuff is going on behind them. Kind of hard, right? That's what they were saying. They were sharing that it's really, really difficult to do. They were envying someone who was home by themselves versus having a house full. And the person by themselves is the one that also confessed she's making it just as hard on herself by listening to all of that stuff and looking things up and having alerts go off that have her panic and look over at that. And I just said, turn it off. Turn it off. It will all be there later tonight. It will all be there tomorrow. It's not going to change super drastically in 24 hours. Turn it off. Put it on Do Not Disturb. Do not turn it on. Don't let the kids turn it on. Don't let your spouse turn it on. Leave it off. Give yourself a boundary of time to let it go and not think about it. I'm telling you, it will be freeing. It will be freeing. So, one of them just texted me, which is why I did this. They just IM'd me on my work thing and said, oh my gosh, just by telling everyone we're having a timeout, we are breaking up with the TV and the news, that their whole house has calmed down and been like a little calmer and smooth. So our community puts out boxes of non-perishable foods on our driveways, and service groups went out and picked them up and restocked our food bank. Aw, and it made everyone feel like they could help. That is an amazing idea. I love it. Food banks are suffering right now because there's a lot of people that aren't working, and or some older people and things, and they're having needs. That's a great idea. I love it. Maybe organize that in your neighborhood where you are. I mean, there's so many things that we can and get to do. But I just wanted to encourage you that it does work if you start taking a time out from all of the crazy negative influence that we've invited into our home in the form of all these other things. You can take a break from that and actually have some peace. And that's what God wants from us anyway, to trust in Him and believe that He's got this. He is not a stranger to it. He understands it. He knows exactly what we're thinking, feeling, and worrying and not worrying and trying to tackle. He knows. But He doesn't want us to fret and worry about a lot of stuff that we have no control over. Right? So if I can encourage you to get out a plan, start tracking your stuff, start getting yourself in the ball rolling to the positive, because summer's coming and the end of COVID is coming. And how are you going to be at the end of that? What are you going to do? Okay? Love ya. And I don't have enough time after my lunch to do the reading, but it just popped into my head from some conversations and thought I would share. So have a great rest of your day. Talk to you later. Bye. Stay safe. God bless you too. Really. And stay safe. I'm praying for you. And I want us to all pray for, I want to say Janice. Yes, Miss Janice, who lost her husband 3 weeks ago. And she is coping with the COVID and the loss and just all of the changes around that. And it's not easy, especially when your world stops and everybody else's world seems to keep going. Okay, Janice, we love you and we're praying for you.